Bonjour, and welcome back. My name is Austin, and I don't know if this is apparent throughout my videos or not, but I am a major environmentalist. I love the environment. I love doing things for it. And I love reading about it. So, I thought, why not share some of my faves just for you? I mostly read fiction, as I've stated many times. However, there is a nonfiction on this list. Well, the first book, actually, I don't need this. I know what the first book I'm talking about is. The nonfiction I read about environmentalism is The Intersectional Environmentalist by Leah Thomas. This is a great book about the impacts of climate change on people of color. I think it mentions the queer community, but I literally don't remember. So it's been a little while, but I know specifically it focused mostly on how it affects the BIPOC community. It's a great book. I found it very informative, has lots of information about the things. I'm not very articulate today. It was great. I thought the information was good. It was very succinct. It didn't draw on, I feel like that's not the right term. It didn't go on, it was well paced. It took me 2 days to read. Like, if you're taking a book from this list, only one, let it be this one. I think it is so important, especially for us white environmentalists, to understand the impacts it has on those who are less privileged. It talks about how companies will put toxic waste towards Black communities and then claim that they're getting rid of it. And it's so good. Please read it. Like, it's so important. It's just such an important book that you must read. The next book on my list used to be one of my favorite books of all time. It's been about 4 years since I've read it, so it's kind of fallen on the list, but I'm tending to reread it soon. And that book is Master of Poisons by Andrea Hairston. First off, stunning cover. It has a person on it, and it still stuns. So, like, what does that mean? That means it's the best book ever, I fear. But, anyways, this book follows two characters, Jola and Awa, and they live in a world where a poisonous desert is slowly encroaching on all habitable land. And so the government, I don't know, kind of government is trying to, or has a solution, but their solution is not not morally good, but it's the only thing that they can do to keep the desert from encroaching on their land. So Jola, the master, yeah, he's considered the master of poisons. He is sent into exile. I don't remember exactly why he's sent to exile. It doesn't say here. But he's sent into exile, and from there, he is trying to find a way to reverse the effects of the desert. And Awa, she becomes a griot, she's sold to griots from her family who can't afford to take care of her, but she is a smoke walker, I think it was. I don't remember exactly what they call it, but like she can walk into like these smoke lands, which I don't remember. I was confused by the book in the first half, and now that I'm trying to remember it, I don't remember what the smoke land was specifically, but she had the special ability to walk into it and bring people with her. And so, yeah, like I'm trying to remember. That's not where the people went. Anyways, this is a beautiful story about the effects of environment of climate change, about how people consistently ignore indigenous voices who often have a solution or have a way of life that already was environmentally friendly and okay. Now the government pushes that away for the sake of, because fuck them, apparently. So good, so emotional. Highly, highly suggest this book. This was truly a masterpiece. Please read this book. Oh, quick warning. This book is very world building heavy. That's like the main complaint about this book. I love world building, so I loved it. But if you look at the negative reviews, almost all of them are gonna say that there's too much world building. So like I know people out there don't like that. I love it. And if you do, or if you are just like okay with it, please read this book. I'm begging you. And also actually read all of these books. That's just my suggestion. The next book I'm gonna talk about is The Past is Red by Catherynne Valente. The Past is Red is probably the most, other than, I mean, like nonfiction and maybe Debatable for Master Poisons, is like it's very heavily focused on the environment and all of that. Because, the story takes place on, that floating patch of garbage? I don't know where it is. It's in the ocean though. I think it's close to the UK, but I totally could not be. It basically takes place on that. It takes place on a giant patch of floating garbage as the rest of the world has sank. So now all they can do is live on this patch of garbage. Well, I'm trying to remember. It hasn't been that long, but basically it follows this girl who becomes the most hated girl on Garbage Land. I don't want to say why, because that's, part of the first half of the story is figuring out why she is, but it kind of follows her as she just kind of exists while everyone hates her and harasses her. How environmental is it? It more so than the other ones I'm going to talk about, frankly, but it is so emotional. It is so strong. It really asks strong questions about hope, what it means to have hope, and what it means to change the world. It is so, so good. There's so much emotional moments that just hurt so much. I'm thinking about one right now and it's gonna make me cry. It's so good, but also so emotional. So, yeah, don't be careful. Be warned. You've been warned. Oh my god. So good. Whew. Next, two books I'm going to talk about are from the same series. It's the Monk and Robot series by Becky Chambers, my favorite author of all time. While I do think Monk and Robot are kind of weaker than The Wayfarers in terms of writing, they are still so cozy, so fun. I mean, perfect fall reads. Like, we're in fall right now. Perfect fall reads. It follows this civilization. So the robots, people made a bunch of robots, and they all became conscious. And one day they left. They left society, telling them that they didn't want to be found. And so they disappeared, had never been seen again, and society realized that they shouldn't become reliant on robots. So they become self-sufficient again. It's a solar punk world. Love solar punk. And yeah, it follows a monk a tea monk who goes out every day and offers advice to people. They come up to him, they get a cup of tea, and he gives them advice. Or they give them, I think the main character is non-binary. They give them advice on how to live their life. And then one day, while out in the wild, the monk comes across a robot who wants to learn more about society. And so they go on a little road trip. It the book series is two novellas. A Prayer for the Crown Shy, I think, is the second one. I don't know what the first one would be called. Oh, doesn't matter though. These books were super good, super cute, very fun, and the world they take place in is environmentally friendly. That's why I picked it. I'm like, from a vibe standpoint, it is very cute, very cured. The world is no longer dealing with environmental devastation. And that's the same reason I picked the next book as well. I wanted to throw on some books that were less heavy. I figured, since environmentalism takes so much out of you mentally, environmental activism, I thought we can throw in some nice books. So the other book I'm going to talk about is Fox Hunt by Rem Wigmore. This book, oh god, it's been a while since I've thought about this book. Fox Hunt follows Orpheus, a bard, a bisexual disaster bard, as I believe the book description calls her, as she lives in a solar punk world where they fixed all their environmental problems. They have solar energy is like their main source, I think. It's been a while. It's been quite a while. And Orpheus is being hunted down by a mysterious organization, and she doesn't know why. So she travels to the city with, I believe, like with the council, I think, or to meet the council to figure out why she's being hunted and all that. It's been so long since I read this book. I don't remember much about this book, okay, and don't hate me, but it was very like the vibes were there. The main character was super fun. Apparently people found her annoying, but I thought she was super fun, very like, I don't know, disaster, and I loved that. And the other characters were great. There is sort of an enemies to lovers going on. It's super diverse. This is one of the few books I've ever read that features characters with neo pronouns, which was so awesome. Like main characters. I mean, some are side, but there's a main character that uses them, and it's so awesome. I love seeing that. I did rate it 4 stars. I found it to be a little underwhelming. I haven't read the second one. I don't know if I will, but I feel like it's a book that a lot of people would like if they just knew it existed. Those are all the books I had. For some, I don't know why, I thought I had way more. Like, I thought a good chunk of my books, and then it's like, oh, no, they're just all I want to read. I haven't read them yet. It's like, oh, oh, okay. However, before I close this off, there are 2 books I want to mention. Undercurrent by Rita Wong. I made a video talking about this. Um, it's not good. I wouldn't suggest watching it, but I did make a video about it. It's a poetry collection. I thought it was alright. You should check it out though. Like, check out the video, that is. I mean, you could check out the poetry collection too. It's pretty good. It has some memorable poems. I just thought some of them were just okay. Hold on, I'm about to lose this page. I'd like not to. Okay. The other book I want to mention is a book called Keeping It Cool by Joanna Jackson and Olivia Jordan. I've never read this book. I believe it's a children's book, and I do intend to own it because I know Joanna Jackson IRL. I met her at a camp that this organization put on, hence why I'm wearing the shirt, at, at, at an environmental youth where we wrote a manifesto. It's online somewhere. I don't know. You can probably find it. Maybe I'll try and leave a link to it. But she's super nice. I loved her. And I know that this book is probably really fucking cool. So, yeah. Thank you. I think you should check it out. And I intend to check it out at some point, hopefully soon. But that is finally all for me to say. I feel like I should have thrown in some books I haven't read yet, but that feels disingenuous to do, so I didn't do it. But I feel like maybe there should be more. But if you stuck to the end, hey, hey, is that an environmentalist? I see yes. Please, in the comments, suggest any other books, cli-fi or nonfiction, about the environment that you loved or that you think I would like, because Lord knows I need them and I will eat it up in a second. I feel like I should also mention another book real quick. It's kind of falling apart. Davos Man, How Billionaires Devoured the World. Not quite about climate change, but related. Anti-capitalism. Woo! I feel like if you're an environmentalist, you probably hate capitalism as well. And it does mention some things about the environment in there. So, anyways, thank you for watching. I'm gonna keep this outro normal. Thanks for watching, and I hope you not only check out these books, but that you keep your interest in the environment and you keep reading books about the environment because it's awesome. And I'd love to stay living on this world, and I'd love for everyone to not burn to death.